Honorable Julius Ihonvbere, a member representing Owan East, Owan West Federal Constituency of Edo State, in an exclusive interview on his victory with DCTV, expressed need for opportunity creation for people so they don't see politics as do-or-die affair. He says the winner-takes-all syndrome should be addressed.
I'm Professor Julius Ihonvbere. I represent Owan Federal Constituency, Edo State. I'm also Chairman House Committee on Basic Education and Services. Well, I think our democracy is not making much progress. That's the first thing we must admit. And what that means is that there's still so much to be done, both in terms of building a culture of constitutionalism, dealing with security issues, strengthening basic institutions in the country, voter education, and creating alternative opportunities for people, not so that they don't see politics as a do-or-die game. They don't go fighting for offices as if their lives depended on winning. We also have to find a way to deal with the winner-takes-all syndrome, which is one of the issues that makes people want to die in elections. Having said that, if you're a legislator, you are sent to Abuja, you know you have your primary duty is supposed to be lawmaking, promoting bills and motions, engaging in legislative advocacy, and at the same time carrying out oversight responsibilities on agencies under the purview of your committee. If you do these very well, it will show both in the results you get from your agencies and your performance on the floor of the House. Unfortunately, our politics has not developed to a level where even 5% of your constituents appreciate that level of work. They don't know about it, they don't care about it, they don't want to hear about it. What they want to hear from you: how many roads, how many schools, how many sets of furniture have you supplied, how many street lights, how many pipe-borne water or boreholes have you sunk, how many scholarships have you given, how many children have benefited from you paying for their JAMB, WAEC, and NECO exams or NAPTEP exams. Those are what they want to. How many people have you bought cars for? How many people have you repaired their roofs, and so on? Now, essentially, these things I've itemized is not the job of the legislator. It is the job of the local government councils and the state governments that collect allocation every month. Unfortunately, the gross failure of the executive in most, not all states, and in the majority of local governments, has now turned the people away from them, but to focus on legislators whom they also voted for. And because that is the questions they ask, we are compelled to do everything possible to stretch every constituency project, to stretch every opportunity you can find or influence, to make sure that on that rainy day, on the day of reckoning, you are not going to say, I moved 20 motions, I sponsored 8 bills. They'll just be looking at you. But when you tell them, I have a school renovated in each of your wards, I supplied school materials, I paid for JAM for 200 persons, I've created or attracted at least 20, 30 or so federal jobs, they clap for you. That is a major problem. It's unfortunate, but that is what it is. That is the reality. And I think I recognized that very early. And I made sure that in each of my 22 wards, there is none that does not have at least 1 or 2 projects. Some have 3, some have 4. I did well over 50 schools. renovated and constructed, including constructing 2 computer-based test centers, one in each local government, street lights, water, and so on. I didn't have enough funds to do any roads. Maybe in the second time we'll look at that. But at least as an academic, as a teacher, as a professor, I had to take care of education first. Because whatever I am today, it is God and education that has taken me, that took me to the level I got to in life and that I still am occupying. So I believe that the people appreciated that, particularly when I could stand up and say that the state government, in the Edo state government, has not done one school in the 2 local governments since 2019. So if you saw any school renovated or constructed, it was done by me from the Federal House of Representatives. And I think that the message was easy. They all know the value of education. So for me, it was not, it solved 60% of my campaign issue, in that there is no ward I got to, I could not point at 2, 3, 4 projects, The other was having done all of that and keeping in touch with the people and doing a lot of training programs for the youth and for women, whether it be in agriculture, in cattle rearing, in fishery, in piggery, in grass cutter breeding, in whatever area of agriculture, cooperating with relevant federal agencies, we were able to reach hundreds of young people and other empowerment programs.
Honorable Julius described his victory as wonderful and exciting, as his impact on his constituency had done 60% of his campaign. He further expressed disappointment on the impact of cashless policy on Nigerians.
I think this made in any case, I didn't need anybody to sing my song for me. I had no governor with me. I had no commissioner with me. I had no local government chairman with me. I had no councillor with me. So it was just me and my party people and my supporters going around. But we had the capacity to tell our story, to communicate with the people. So when the elections came, there are 22 wards. I won 20. Wow. My opponent from PDP got 2. That was a story. It was wonderful. The presidency in my constituency, we won. The senator, Adams Oshomole, we also won. So I think for me, Labour did not give us any problem. We didn't even reckon with them because they were not a force that will give us that kind of trouble, that like it happened in Edo South. It was not like that in Edo North. But it was a good journey. It was exciting. But I must also say, it was still expensive. Even when the cashless policy was there, people were hungry. You could feel it, you could see it. Some of them had no jobs. I come from a constituency neglected by the state government, by the federal. We don't have federal institutions. And people were hungry. You could feel it. And they didn't come to tell you to pay for the vote, no. But they were ready to gather in your house in the morning to go with you to campaign. So every morning you find yourself feeding 500, 600, 700 people. If you call that vote buying, so be it. You follow you around the entire constituency, and they follow you back home. So you make sure that you are already cooking for them to feed. So these are aspects that helps you to build followership, build a community spirit, build a one-on-one relationship with your constituents. But it also drains the politician. And the politician has to find that money from somewhere. So it balances out somehow, but it's also something to look at. I think the cashless policy came in at a very wrong time. And like I had said when it was announced, the CBN did not do its homework well. They could have looked at community. My local government has no bank. The constituency has, let's say the constituency has no bank. I don't have an account in my constituency. So to get money, you have to go to Auchi or go to Eboma. This is over almost an hour's drive away, with all the risk of kidnapping, banditry in that area, where an area that is very sparsely policed. You are taking a major risk. You don't know who is working at the bank or who is sitting across the street from the bank that will call them out. Professor just left Zenith Bank. He's on his way home. Wait for him. So you look at those things. You then start using electronic transfers. In many communities in my constituency, there are no network. There's no Glo, no network, nothing. I've written to them, Glo and MTN and Airtel severally. They've not responded to that. So you find, therefore, that even when you do a transfer to somebody who has a bank account, they don't receive it. You know. The other problem is that this cashless policy in deep rural areas is creating a lot of problems. Somebody doesn't have a bank account. He says, okay, use that of my friend. The person you transfer, the person collects the money and says, I have not received the money. On the one hand, they keep bothering you. They create a quarrel between you and the person you transfer to. And when that person believes you and you show evidence of the transfer, it becomes a fight between somebody who has used the received money to solve immediate, urgent life or death problems. Three major bills hanging. One is the Federal University of Sports, the first of its type in Africa, which has gone through third reading, went for concurrence in the Senate, but for some unknown reason was stepped down in the Senate, but we'll pursue it again. The infrastructure for that university already exists in the Games Village, Afuze, which has been visited by previous presidents, including Gowon or governors like Ubemudia. They had made promises. We have the buildings, we have facilities, equipment, all available. And we've also worked out means of international collaboration, both to receive exchange of students and faculty, and even equipment and financial support from international organizations. And I know it will make a major intervention in the area of sports where we have been doing shamefully. You know, in fact, our performance, whether it is soccer, it is field or track, has been an embarrassment to Nigeria, given what our history used to be. The second is a federal medical center in Sabongidaura, Owan West. Now, Owan West is a border town, and when we have emergencies, they have to take the person either to Owo in Ondo State or to Irua Federal Medical Center, which is another senatorial zone altogether. I don't think we have committed any major offense in this country that we do not deserve one. So I proposed the bill that has gone through second reading. I will follow up on that. The third is the Federal School of Nursing and Midwifery in Sobe, and again in Owan West. That has gone through first and second reading. We will follow up to get it to third reading and concurrence. The thing is that the School of Midwifery will serve the entire country, of course, but will produce sufficient person power, specific skills to serve both the Federal School of Midwifery and the Federal Medical Center and the other medical institutions across the state and the neighboring states. So those are the things. And finally, my focus now is on women, empowering women and the young people and the youth. I've done enough of schools and institutions, etc. It's time to shift gear to something different.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Comfort Olayinka, DCTV News.